We're gonna firebend
back.
some spirits.
We're back
I think
and
we found
discussing
the
what even counts as fire, because
Yeah,
this is
we
what
found
we
the name of
do.
the episode. What is fire?
What is fire?
Actually, not. Yeah, that works so far.
I mean, fire is
Fire is
oxygen, heat, fuel in a chemical reaction. That's what
That's how
fire
you
is.
also
make
lightning.
fire. That's the recipe.
Well, the thing is, I think scientifically, plasma is another state of matter.
It is.
Yeah.
And so that's that, especially between...
It's superheated gas.
Yeah, and lightning also counts, and lightning bending is a thing.
Yeah,
so
lightning's
technically, you should
plasma-y.
in the like sci-fi future of Avatar, which totally will
Fire
happen
then
eventually,
just
it fire bending gets changed to plasma bending because that's more sci-fi sounding and is technically accurate.
You see, you say fire is energy, Marissa. Then what is energy bending?
Yeah, there's also energy bending.
It's called energy bending. It feels
The
like it's
energy
more
of the
spirit
soul.
bending, is what it feels like.
But spirit bending is also what they used on the spirits. They called it spirit bending.
That's
Well,
just a
just a form of
spiritual
water bending.
aspect of water bending. It's fine.
So
It's
firebending is
all
thermal
circular.
energy bending.
Yeah.
Firebending is, well, with the lightning, I'm not sure. It's
And what
probably
do you-
still
what do
thermal
you
energy.
do
So
with
it's still heat.
Yeah, you're
We
right.
we don't even understand lightning well enough to know.
Yeah.
Now we circle back to lava bending because
Earth
technically
bending
Back to
earth
is-
lava
bender.
bending.
Unrefined
So
mineral
arguably,
bending, unless you learn how to do
everyone
refined.
should.
Unrefined
Ice is an unrefined mineral.
Except it doesn't count.
ice
Ice
is
is
like
super special and
super-
gets its own magic system. How? Ice bribed the world designer to get its own magic system before.
Because the thing we have to accept is martial arts generates the energy to control things. That is the baseline acceptance,
Control,
right?
yes,
You
basically.
apparently have genetic predisposition as to whether or not you can use your martial arts.
Yeah, how
Yeah,
to
you have
employ your
genetic
martial arts
predisposition
energy.
based on your soul that was altered from your ancestor 10,000 years ago to give you the bending ability. Apparently, there's
Souls are
like an
genetic.
echo of your soul that is
Souls
genetic.
are genetic.
You know what, sir? Souls are genetic.
Yeah,
The Avatar's
there's
the only one that
probably a
reincarnates
bending gene.
because they have a magic light spirit that comes back, but there's never shown that anyone else reincarnates, so souls are genetic because they don't come back.
Now, what is a? I'm just kidding.
We
Yeah.
don't need to ask
So
what is
how
a
do we
soul
build a
and what is a
spaceship
spirit.
in Avatar, and where would it go? Is the next
These
question.
are amazing questions.
I want to discover
Does earth
gravity
work
bending.
on the moon?
You know what?
Does earth bending work on the moon?
We need to go ask the lion turtle to grant us new types of bending. We need gravity bending.
But
We
gravity.
need light bending.
No, we already have
We're just gonna
gravity
go full
bending.
Sanderson with this.
It's called earth bending.
We're doing light bending.
You
I
just
think
need a
that's
high enough
fire.
concentration of earth, and gravity just happens. So theoretically,
I want to
the
be a light
earthbender
bender
who could
because
hold
that's the
food?
most sci-fi one. You just shoot laser beams with your fingers.
Yeah, essentially, I would say light bending is fire bending, but we're not going there, and no one's inventing light bending.
Well, if you say it's firebending.
This is season 3 of the
Yeah.
new Avatar coming out. Is going to be the Earthbender having to deal with laser benders.
Yep.
Ooh, lasers. I love lasers.
Meanwhile, in season 2, we have a amazing Pai Show tournament.
Yes.
I think at this point, like, Pana has collected as many people from the town as he can get. You're not going to get everyone. That's a little
Well, I feel
silly.
like we've So, what is the silliest instrument that we have access to?
Like musical?
Yes,
They definitely
we're
have
making a thing
Pana
out of
do,
it because that's
like,
what the
little
person.
banjo
that-
things.
The triangle?
the-
How silly do we think the triangle is as an instrument?
There's the precursor to the Secret Tunnel Band is currently advertising for
Oh.
your Pai Show tournament.
Perfect.
Yeah, I wanted
Or
some.
it's somehow the same people and they're somehow the same age. That would fit.
No,
Okay.
it's not a cameo, but there is someone with like a plucked stringed instrument, and I think it's just a fade in on the top from the top of the trees to like this empty clearing in the woods,
singing,
basically.
Spirit Pie Show.
Spirit by show.
It's not a Sugi horn.
Aw.
And we have collected all of the PCs to be here. Do you guys want a cast list of who is here and who is not?
I think whoever you need to be here is here. But we'll find out later.
Yeah.
I would imagine Sato and I would come later because I feel like we're coming in going, it was you to the waterbenders.
Oh, right in the middle of this, you're gonna try. Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
Quiwa is using this excuse to hang out with her
Murderous
would-be
boyfriend.
suitor. No, her boyfriend is not the murderer. Her boyfriend's bodyguard's sister is probably the murderer. Totally different.
Well.
Attempted murderer.
Well,
You don't
anyway,
get points for trying. It's still illegal.
Yeah. Well, we have constructed 3 circles in this clearing. One is just done with a stick, and that is the do not enter this circle ring. And then on the inside, there are 2 more circles, not concentric, surrounded by candles. And the idea, with the pie show board in between, and the idea is we're gonna party so much that it entices the spirit to come sit in the circle. We're gonna light
So-
all of the candles, completing the barrier, locking me and the spirit in a pie show battle.
So you're gonna
So
invite
I
it to a
have-
party and then
I
lock it in
will-
once it gets here.
Freely admit to everyone here that how this pie show battle is going to occur is out of the realm of what I know quite now.
Rolls
But I
will
do
happen,
think that it
and that
makes
will be the.
sense that we should have a roll to see how well this setup goes and how well this starts.
Yeah.
Can
Rolls
I
are
make a
needed, correct.
suggestion?
Please.
I assume this is push your luck.
He's the spirit person. Surprisingly, it might not be, even though spirit pushing his luck is actually good for
playbook
him.
is all spiritual energy and stuff.
Then again,
so I
even when
make a couple other arguments.
I also suspect all of his spiritual training is pushing his luck, anyways, in terms of how he
Yeah.
approaches things.
Yes.
So,
Well, it depends on a few things, but for enticing the spirit to come, it's gonna be push my luck. Then I'm going when the spirit shows up, it's gonna be all quiet, and we're gonna assess the situation, and then we're gonna do the pie show game where I have all my bonuses from asking weird questions.
Well, let's see how these preparations have gone with the spirit showing up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gonna
Oh.
push
What
my
just happened?
luck.
Oh! Huh. Cool, thanks.
what? Oh, was there the ping that makes everyone's camera move there?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I gotta roll the thing.
Are
Alright.
you rolling push your luck?
Yeah. I'm assuming I could get assistance from bodyguard.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Yes.
He doesn't have any idea what he's doing, but
Yeah.
at least the long setup and getting everything organized is working. All right.
I like to summon a spirit.
So this spirit is incredibly accommodating. Aside from hitting Quiwa into a tree, apparently if you set things up just right and put the circles and put the candles around, this thing didn't show up the entire time you were setting up. But as you sit down in that circle and hold a pie show tile in your hand, the spirit of the gorilla goat covered in the net of pie show tiles materializes. And it doesn't materialize in the other circle, but it kind of just stands there for a moment and looks around and sees the people. It sees the circle of candles that you're in.
Quiwa
It
tenses up.
sees the pie show tile, and that itself is kind of the I see. For as much as spirits understand our thing, it then grabs one of the pie show tiles from the net on itself, kind of pulls it out of the net arrangement, and holding that pie show tile, stately walks towards the other circle of currently unlit candles, and then on the pie show board places a tile down.
Yeah, when it steps in, top of fire vents, all the candles on. It's a very cool practiced effect.
Yep. This is like your master
Most-
technique. Is like the
most
of
circular-
Pie
the
show is
circular
showmanship.
candle lighting.
Yeah, I have spent a lot of time on the instant candle ignition technique. It's just a snap.
The gorilla goat doesn't seem to care or notice. It is a spirit. That ain't
Yeah.
gonna
Well-
do nothing against it.
Well, that's the whole point. Now it can't leave. Spirits
Yep.
are bound by weird, arbitrary laws.
Yeah.
I'm
We'll
sure
see
it
how
will
well
agree
that
with you. Well, if it
I don't
knows
know,
how
that's-
to glow candles out,
That's
then we
what
have a problem.
that's what Dama thinks at least. That it's bound by weird, arbitrary laws. We're hoping I got the right one.
Yeah. It
I
might
think
not
as
recognize.
you showmanship close the fire close, like there's an ooh and an probably from Pana, which just kind of moves around the crowd and they sort of start quietly applauding as they watch avidly to see what's happening with the pie show.
Yeah. I would like to place the piece in return. And while the slow motion placing of the pie show tile happens, we're going to Mind Palace examine the spirit.
Do it. Go ahead.
I don't know
Yeah,
what
Pie
else
Show
to
is
do.
more of a method of communication with the spirit.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
like
this
a
is the
Ouija
slow
board.
motion as I place the tile. Just
Yeah.
like, what information can I
That's
gather
what it is.
about my
It's
opponent?
the now that we're fighting, I have to learn your anime backstory, spirit.
Yes, exactly.
Everything turns sepia colored, and we see a flashback.
Yep.
Roll an 11. I
Oh,
Oh
get
yeah, don't you get like
4
2 free questions too? Oh, you get 4.
Please ask a question. I will answer each in turn, but I'm not going to keep track of all of these.
I will. All right. See, I know who has been touched by the spirits, and it's the spirit.
Or me, technically.
That's
literally.
fair.
But yes.
I want to know how I can bring about peace here, and by here I mean the heart of the spirit.
Oh.
Okay. Sorry.
Does your
deciding how
interpretation
specific-
of peace include us not starving to death?
No, that's not a stipulation.
The spirit might just be like, "Go away."
Yeah, stop hunting here. Leave this place
That's-
alone.
I mean, that's an appropriate answer, and that just gives me something that just changes the way I interact with it, because either way I get the +1.
Flee the
There
sacred
is-
grove.
a more specific answer, but at the broadest end of this, the answer is stop hunting. For some reason, slaughtered gorilla goats do not make the gorilla goat spirit happy. There is a little bit more to that. If you were to
Alma just thinks,
include
"Told you
the idea
so."
piece of starving, but that's it for that.
That's a big "told you so," by the way.
I mean,
Currently, the rest of them are just watching a pie show match.
Yeah.
yeah.
Just imagining normal
you just, like,
sized Dama, and then like a giant gorilla
Like
goat
a house
spirit going,
size ghost. Yeah.
Yes.
going boop.
Yes. Who here is in control?
The spirit. It could
Ooh.
wreck you all and all of the people here. That pile of candles means absolutely nothing.
Turns out I'm not a spirit bender.
Nope.
I'm
But it
a
really likes
shoddy
pie show, so you're
firebender.
good.
I'm a shoddy firebender at most. All right, I have more questions. What is my best way to overcome this, or to come out on top during this duel?
You're using the duel to communicate to the spirit. If you want to communicate that you are going to bend to its will, that you are going to stop hunting, that it no longer needs to be here.
Oh no, this is a fiddle contest kind of situation. This is not a appeasement situation. It is the winner asks of the other.
Yeah, this is more a matter of trying to talk, or at least it sees it more of a matter as trying to talk to someone who's not speaking the same
The
language.
spirit has not agreed to the terms necessarily.
All right. So yeah,
Basically, if you want to communicate, do not cause problems here. We will do what you say. You need to lose this pie show map.
okay.
That is what it will understand.
I wanted to protect the town. I want a weird pie show monster guarding the gates.
Then I guess is your last question something along the lines of what is my best way to get that?
To ensure its loyalty to the town.
Okay. To spend enough time through various pie show conversations that you kind of start to learn the pie show language a little bit and are able to, in that language,
Pie show Ouija board
communicate
it.
to it what you want. It's going to take a lot of time and a lot of pie show. Sorry,
have
I
a-
saw an
I have a small suggestion for
Please, let's hear it.
that. So a lot of Avatar, like living in harmony stuff, is like them learning from animals and spirits how to do certain things. Maybe the best outcome here is we need to learn from this spirit how to live off of the land we're on.
Because the gorilla goats have to live here.
Yeah.
So we just like figure out how they do it and then we copy them.
Yeah, because they eat anything just like we do. They can eat meat, they can eat vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
So
I just realized, are we gonna end up domesticating them in a peaceful
Yes,
way,
I love
and
gorilla
then
goat
that's
domestication.
How King Boomy gets his own gorilla goat somehow.
Yes.
I don't know if
like
it's domesticate, more as like live beside. We
Yeah,
assimilate
be
them
domesticated
into
by them might be the more appropriate term.
I both like that answer and that as being a thing. However, the question was how can we
Ensure its loyalty to the town.
loyalty the spirit to the town, and for that I am going to say pie show. But yes.
Yeah. All right.
Like regular
Well, in
pie
that
show
case,
games,
let's.
or what do you mean?
I don't know.
Basically learn the language. It's talk with it enough. You'll figure something out and maybe be able to communicate.
I'm the best pie show player in
Like,
this world or the next, so now we need to beat him.
Perfect.
Like,
You're definitely not letting
okay,
the
you
Wookiee
go
win.
against his will is by losing. Okay, let's beat him. All right.
Well, no, it was.
assert dominance.
It's not assert dominance, but it's show that I can sit down to play. Is the idea? It is the I'm not here to mess around. I know how to. I'm not gonna pull punches against you, spirit monster.
Okay.
It is.
I've
You have to
told
treat me
you
like a. It's
straight out where that's going to go, but I definitely get the vibe that you're trying to impart to it. Of
yeah. I wanted to treat me like an equal. I feel like is the easiest way to garner a furthering conversation. Because if it sees me as just wimpy human who can't even punch a gorilla goat,
I will make a suggestion. The best way to possibly do that and end this situation peacefully would be to play very, very well. And intentionally and knowing what you are doing, lose. Assuming that the gorilla goat just doesn't beat you, because I think we will probably end up having a roll for that.
ooh, can I play it to a draw?
That
I
might
have
work.
no idea how pie show works.
So
We
sure,
don't- no
we
one
don't
does.
know. So
No
let's
one
decide
does.
the
Sure.
rules.
Sure.
That's what you do as a GM. You don't know, so you make it up.
See, this is Southern Air Temple Pie Show. There is no overtime, so there's a time limit, and if the score is the same, the score is the same.
I was gonna say you have every tile
I think it's-
full. Like there's a
that's what I
tile
was
in
about
every
to
single
say.
space, so it
If
takes
the board
forever.
Yeah, if there's a board, if the board is full and there's no winner has been declared, I'd say that's a draw.
So I think there is a role to basically state your intent for what you are trying to like, are you looking to win, lose, draw with the pie show, and B, what is that trying to communicate? And
Fair.
with that being the case, we'll make a roll and we'll see how well those both go.
Yes. Because my intention is to ally the spirit monster now I actually have to use my skills and training. I understand it's crappier, it's one less, but
You have the +1 ongoing too from the assess the situation here.
That's
yes,
true.
I have a few pluses here. But I feel like pushing my luck isn't the right vibe for this
Yeah.
part of the exchange.
You
This
could
is no.
you could spend a fatigue and roll a determination at a +1.
That's what I don't have to spend a fatigue, is what I was about to say.
Oh, there you go.
I can just roll with determination instead, because I am specifically trying to get loyalty for the town, and not, which will change the town if successful.
Mhm.
If they have like a patron goat spirit, will, whether or not they like it or not, if the town is haunted by a ghost spirit, like a goat gorilla spirit,
Yeah.
it
Gorilla
will
goat
change
spirit,
the
alright.
town.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
give
it
it
will.
here.
We'll
Yep.
start building statues of it.
And
basically.
because of that,
Golden
don't need to
statues.
I was gonna
spend
say more like
fatigue.
shrines, but okay.
Yeah, I can roll with determination instead.
Okay.
More like at the gates, there's like gorilla goat statues, and then like at staircases, they're gorilla goat
Mhm.
statues.
Freaky
good.
gorilla goat cult in the mountains.
You don't understand. My grandfather saw the gorilla goat once.
He saw the gorilla goat spirit. I was there.
How do I roll
He
with
said it
those?
played by show.
Alright.
Oh, there's no button on the sheet
Also,
for it.
no wonder this place becomes a pie show like haven after this. The entire town basically was saved through pie show.
Yeah,
Or destroyed. We haven't seen the roll.
no.
You're right.
My show.
I can try to distract it from its game if you're trying to beat it in pie show, because it probably would be like, it's you, if I play a horn or music.
I think at the tensest moment of, how is this game going to go as we're pondering this role, Antiquog kind of tries to grab your hand.
Yeah, so I have a +1 from
Excellent.
using determination. I have a +1 from like understanding the build of the foe. I have a series of questions, and at least one of them applies.
Okay, so +1 for understand the foe, +1 for assess the situation.
Oh, that's what I meant by the understand the foe.
Okay.
Like from the
So
assess the situation,
What was the other one?
and then I have +1 for rolling with determination for
Okay.
the stat for it.
Is
I have a
your
+2.
assistant person, super fan, running commentary?
Oh my god, he plays the
Yeah.
gorilla goat defense.
Of
course, he's the gorilla goat spirit.
Probably
Not
not.
loudly.
because of
He's kind of
safety?
aside in the hush. He's telling it all to Antiquog, who is completely ignoring him
Perfect.
at this. He's just commentating like, oh, "Have you seen what he did there?"
I roll an 8.
That's not bad.
That's
I do it
success
imperfectly.
with problems.
I
All right.
accept those consequences or mark 1 fatigue. I'm letting you know that is very much probably what I'm going to do. I will end the match sweaty, rather getting trampled by the gorilla goat spirit.
Alrighty. And your intention were you were playing it to a draw, to a win or lose, and
The draw. I was
Okay.
trying to do a draw because I can't lose in front of all these people.
all right. I think what happens is you're trying to play it to a draw. You're playing it with that mindset in mind. The Gorilla Goat is a better player than you would have ever expected. It's a spirit. It's had hundreds of thousands of years. This you're trying to play it to a draw. It is not taking any kind of mercy on you. You are beaten. It wins. However, it
Wanna get sweaty
recognizes
instead.
that you were a reasonably worthy opponent, that you actually cared about the game
Is it gonna
through
mentor
body
you?
language, through whatever. So, it would be willing to stick around and do this. It is not hostile, it is not angry, but you lost. And you were beaten relatively sound.
I would like to take a fatigue.
Do not have
The
that happen?
fatigue and draw.
A fatigue and
Yeah.
draw.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Through sheer
Reliant-
human determination.
So sheer determination and a bit of luck, you managed to bring it from a loss to a draw.
Yeah,
Something
you
like that.
recognize midway through as it's doing its strategy, wait a second, it's not going to let me. Oh, and so you pull out of your back pocket the most ridiculous, like, off the
Yeah.
wall kind of move that
It's
The
your
cat-
radish lotus.
Yeah, the
Hey,
radish lotus strategy
gives
of
you
play completely
inspiration.
randomly and somehow it works out or something. It's probably not that because you actually
And
know
just
Paisho.
at the last moment, it is confused by your play, and in an incredibly brilliant set
I
of
think
moves.
I think it's less
apparently-
brilliant and more of like brutish. Like it's not a classy victory.
That's so dumb. It's brilliant. No, it's just dumb.
It's just dumb. Yeah, it's not a
I think-
classy victory, I think is
It still recognizes that you are really you care about the game, that this matters to you. I think it's a little bit more put out in this version of
Yeah.
losing, but
Mad
fine.
it's
I just
just
can't
like,
oh
I have
man.
reputation to uphold,
We must
and
play
losing
again.
to a random forest spirit is not on the table.
Excellent.
Alrighty. And as the last tip is played, the gorilla goat looks at you. It looks around at the other people. In a fit of little bit of pique at losing, it manifests physically whatever and basically knocks over the ring of
Flips the
candles,
table? Oh,
all of
okay.
it that were around it, lighting a bit of the forest floor on fire, and then disappears.
Yeah, Quiwa definitely like stepped a few paces back when that happened at first, and then it vanished. She's still tense.
You
Look
want to say this
around.
is
I'm
where
assuming
Bao
it's
and
very quiet.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Bao and I have been like staring at the waterbenders the entire time, like trying to
Quiwa,
glean anything we can
Quiwa
from
like
them.
Yeah.
giggles at a joke before the match ended.
I think Bao would like whisper over like, which one of the three do you think it is? Do you think it's Loverboy? I don't think it's Paisho Man. I'm just gonna be flat out there. It's not Paisho Man. Or do you think it's the lady who hates Fire Nation?
I think you have a very good talent for burying the lead, Bao.
Mm, I'm very good at burying things in my Earthbender.
We should not make any assumptions yet. One of them will make a mistake.
I guess the waterbender, the Paisho person, uses the kind of backpack that he's been wearing on his back, full of water, kind of like one of those a water skin, but way bigger. And he puts out the fire there before anything can actually go wrong.
I mean, technically, if we let the spirit burn its own forest to the ground, no,
That's on it.
that's on it. But I don't think the spirit will see it that way, and also we would
Yeah.
lose, valuable resources.
So, just I guess to address the people.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
everyone's
guess I'm
like
gonna take.
wondering what happened. What does that mean?
Yeah. So I would like to kind of half-heartedly give a full speech to everyone, being like the gorilla goat spirit imparted to me that they were particularly peeved about all of the gorilla goat hunting that's been going on. And just as a thought, maybe hypothetically, we could see what they're eating and eat the same thing as opposed to eating them. And
The
also,
crowd murmurs and looks a bit to any of the hunters in the crowd look to Quiwa for a response, as it is relatively well known at this point that you were the one who instigated the hunting.
Yes.
yeah. And as far as
And because you are the major person who is a representative of the town who is here.
yeah.
Oh, my dad's not
And-
here.
Your dad and Min are not here.
Okay.
and for
I
a
just like
call to
nod silently and like continue, but I'm not going to interrupt you.
yeah. And as for a call to action, I will do my part, but I need to ask of everyone else. Anyone who has spent time with the Pie Show board, we need to be in these woods playing the spirit until it learns to trust the people of this town.
We just need a rotation shift. We got our pie show like someone's
Keeper
always
of the tiles.
keeper of the tile. Someone's always just playing Pai Sho with the spirit. At all
Eventually.
times.
With enough effort and determination, through
Someone
enough
pipes up and
hard-won
says-
games, this spirit could come to help the town.
Someone pipes up and says, but what if the Fire Nation finds us out here playing Pai Sho?
That's what the big goat spirit's
The
for.
benefit is I doubt many people would believe in the Fire Nation if a scout returned saying they saw someone playing Pai Sho with a large spirit.
They might not believe, but that won't save our lives.
The spirit will help. You just need to, earn its trust first.
Please make a roll.
Yes. I would like to plead with the people of this town.
They just saw you make a thing go away. That seems pretty
Yeah.
reasonable. Yeah.
I'm asking for help.
I will help if you need it, yes.
I will probably need help.
Oh.
I'm trying to think if I can lawyer the answer. Because I had all of these true statements I got from examining the goat, or the gorilla goat spirit, can I take a +1 from the hunting bit? Being
I think I
like this
can.
is a real
Ongoing,
solution.
when acting on the answers, is ongoing, my apologies, is ongoing you can use it multiple times, or is ongoing just the next time?
I had 4 questions.
I don't remember this game specifically, but in general, with Apocalypse World Forward is just the next roll, and
yeah.
ongoing is
Until
in
the situation
perpetuity
is
until it
resolved.
doesn't matter
Yeah.
Then
or
take
doesn't
that
apply.
as a +1 then, if that is the case.
Sick.
Because you very much did say.
I rolled 13.
All right.
That's without the
Your
help.
suggestion makes them like, oh yeah, that seems like a good idea.
It worked this time.
And like you see Panna and perk up and basically say, yeah, absolutely, I can help out with that. I mean, if you're willing to stick around in the forest for a little while. And he checks at Antiquelog, who is happily successfully holding Quiwa's hand apparently. And not responding to that question. But the people are like, yeah, okay, and there's kind of a roster getting together of people who are willing to sit down in the middle of the woods and play the Pai Sho Spirit.
I have found the rules on our question. So there's +1 forward and +1 ongoing. Ongoing applies to all rolls that apply. So if it
Perfect.
says forward, then it's just the first one. But if it's ongoing, then it's all the things that would apply to it.
In which case, this absolutely applies. Thank you. So yeah, your people are quite happy to play Pai Sho in the forest with the spirit, to domesticate the gorilla goat Pai Sho spirit.
To ally with.
Of course, sorry, to ally with the gorilla goat Pai Sho spirit until they figure it out. Again, because playing Pai Sho with it is kind of learning the language, each of them is really going to be learning little bits and pieces. And it might take a little longer because there's a lot of different people now volunteering, but
Yeah,
We just have
this-
weekly debriefings.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
want it to
I mean-
we want it to trust the town, not one person from the town.
Yeah, the Dama doesn't want to be the central point of contact, and also we need it to protect us from the firebenders.
all right. Do we have anything else happening among the circle as people slowly start to disperse and head back? Do we have anything else happening? I
mean,
can do something otherwise.
Do we just want to walk up to the ambassador and ask him if he's seen the thing before, and then trigger our moves to see if he's
So
lying?
that's the thing. Quiwa
Yes!
is like on our way back. Quiwa is actually like kind of half, not dragging him away, but like swiftly coming, like leading him back to town. Not looking out for you at all. She's like not avoiding you. So you can clearly intercept her, but she looks like she's is walking back with a purpose while still holding his hand and not letting go of it.
Hannah is kind of upset and torn, but is following along behind the two of you.
Yeah.
With longing glances back at Donnelly. But
Excuse me, Anti-Clock. Would you mind answering a few questions?
yes, Sure.
I like look
And he's
at them
trying to,
holding
like, get rid
hands
of
and
it
look back up.
and also not get rid of the hand, and eventually he gives up on it.
No, if he wants to pull away, I let him pull away.
He doesn't.
Okay.
Have you seen this? And I'm gonna watch his body language as I pull out the ball.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Very subtle.
Gotcha investigations.
I got an 8. Yes, it worked.
Okay. Well, his answer was yes.
Oh wait,
I
that's
have
actually a 9.
this.
Earthbenders are not known for their subtlety. Their literal bossing, say, Spy Master, was basically an obvious villain from the start.
Yeah, that's part of being an earthbender. We're very forward.
I'm pretty sure, like, if we're thinking about training of Aang, it's like, no, just be hit with the boulder.
Just hit the rock.
Yeah, we don't need to like be coy about things. Just smack them in the face with what you want to talk about, and we're gonna go forward with it.
Yep.
He's like, oh, yes, I have seen. Do you mind? Can I take it? And if you'll let him, he'll take it from you quickly.
Hmm.
Like
He takes it and kind
Sato's hand goes behind his back and the flame just flickers at the end of his hand.
Who knows what that is?
I think
He's doing it
I'm
surreptitiously.
pretty sure that Panna is going to do something there.
I mean, it would be guarded and surreptitious. Like if you need a roll, that's fine. But
It's for the audience.
Yeah, the bodyguarders might be paying attention
There's
to
a
someone
bodyguard
to a
here.
firebender.
Who doesn't like
readying-
firebender?
A firebender
He's
readying a
distracted,
potential
but,
thing, yeah.
That is an immediate and direct threat against the person he's supposed to be guarding. I should hope he's paying at least enough attention to that. So yes, please make a reroll to see how hidden that successfully was.
yeah, what is okay.
I would help you by being the most like aggressive person.
The 7. So
You don't need my help.
successfully
Sorry,
hidden
what-
from any
what's that?
bodyguards. It was a skills and training roll. I'm a trained combatant.
Yeah, skills and training, absolutely.
Could be he doesn't notice you, but he's eyeing you anyways. He doesn't notice that
On
action.
7 to 9, you do it imperfectly. Okay. He has become aware and is now much more focused on this conversation. He's kind of dropped his dual focus on Damalir. He does not see the fire. He might feel a little bit of heat. He is definitely ready, but he is not doing anything about it
Yeah.
or about you right now.
He's probably tensing up just like you are.
Yeah. But yeah, so NT Clug, who is not tensing up, takes the thing, kind of fiddles with it, he kind of presses a button, and it's more slowly unspools and kind of, and he's like, yeah, how did you get this?
I'll be asking the question.
Oh, all right then.
You tell me what
Actually-
you know about it.
Queen was just being quiet and like watching. She knows about the murder investigation, so she's like, huh?
Well, an attempted murder investigation.
Attempted murder.
Phrase what that is. You can ask the question, sure, but I want to know, how did you get this? This is mine.
Mm,
Dun dun dun.
done.
Yeah, no, Queen
Um,
doesn't say yeah, but she's like, she puts her like hand
This
to her
is
The
mouth.
hand
yours.
is removed. Sorry.
Yeah, she without thinking, she removes her hand and puts it in front of her mouth in like.
When did you
polite
last see
shock.
this ball thing?
Well, first off, that ball thing is called, insert technical term here.
Yeah,
Um,
the what was it? What does it do again?
and
I don't remember what it does.
I don't remember.
essentially
It
that's
springs with
pulled into a bunch of razor wire.
razor wires. Oh, perfect.
Is called technical term, whatever.
I'll find it. I'll make one. up
Insta
while-
razor wire.
I'll make
It's a
one up.
spring razor.
Spring razor.
And
Yeah, it is.
spring razor, absolutely.
Dishonor.
And I would like to know what you are doing with my property before I answer any other questions.
Your property bounced off of my armor. Nearly killed my brother and his wife.
Did it now. And he's getting very quiet. There is a very different vibe to him at this time and before. He's not saying anything else.
Yeah, he's quite. Quiwa actually steps in at this point. And so his name is Auntie Claw. What would I nickname? What would I call him as like a?
Do not give him a cutesy little nickname, because I will clear angry in a second if you do that.
I
Don't make me clear my condition on you.
Auntie Claw.
This would probably be the first time that you have used it. I will tell you
It's
that
like
much.
Tiki.
Tiki. Let's go with Tiki. She's not.
Did you meet like 3 days ago and he's
Oh no,
loyal to
2
you,
days
like?
ago. It's even better.
Yep.
I mean, teenagers, man, they move
Yeah.
fast.
Yep. We spent like 3 whole hours together, and now we know each other's souls.
Um.
But Quiwa steps in. I think in front of the others, she would say, Antiqua, where is this normally stored, if it may have been removed from your property?
And he kind of looks at you and he's being more careful, but he will respond, essentially because you were asking. It would have been stored with the rest of our things in our rooms, the one that you and your family so graciously provided us.
Are you telling me this is yours? You recognize it as yours. When was the last time you saw it?
I am not in the habit of doing routine checks through all of my belongings to make sure absolutely everything is there.
I'm not asking you to be specific. I'm asking you just generally. When is the last time you saw this?
I don't know.
It looks like I'm adding a name to the list.
When you said that this was used against you, when was that?
Yesterday.
Funnily enough, when you came into town.
Yeah, we know
What?
that.
When? Yesterday? If I might.
As a player, I don't remember afternoon.
It was while I was
was
on
like
a walk with him, actually, I think.
It was at lunchtime, to clarify.
Oh.
I don't remember what happened at lunchtime. Is he unaccounted for at lunchtime?
I think
I'll
all of us.
remind you, at lunchtime, Panna went to ask Dama Lee to go do Pai Show things. You do not know at this point where the other two were, but obviously he was not with his bodyguard.
I'm gonna keep it blank until I can, because I am suspicious of both of them. I need to figure out whose name to put down first. Did you have anything to do with this being used to attempt to murder our other guests?
I don't feel that that is an appropriate question to be asking someone who has come here to seek an alliance with your people. This
I'm writing
is
your
both
name
a
down now.
Of inhospitality.
So I have a question.
Feel slighted?
I might interrupt here. One of my drives as the bold is to stop a fight with calm words. Can I stop this from escalating, and would that count?
Here's the thing. Even if you could, I would clear angry here and tell you to stop. You've only known this man for 2 days.
I would be okay with calling this a stopping a fight. He's not going to fight, but there's enough tension around. We have fire drawn. We have someone who is on the edge. So yeah, if you stepped in here, this is close enough to stopping a fight with calm words. Sort of stopping a fight before it starts, but...
Perfect. So, I think Quiwa says, "Excuse me, but we can deal with this. I think what she says actually is, Bao, do you still need to hold that weapon on you if you know it was used?
It's currently still in Antiquelog's hands, and he has not given it up
I know.
because you have not asked, and he is
Yep.
not giving it away.
No, I was gonna say Bao let him keep it because it's his property, and you
No,
don't exactly
it
need the
was
evidence.
used in an attempted murder.
Yes,
it is
and
now
we
evidence.
are aware of that. We don't need to have it confiscated.
Yes, because it can be used again, and perhaps successfully.
This can many things, but this is mine, and I will keep it.
I think what Quiwa says is, Bao, I know you mean well, but Antiqua didn't do this. But she's giving you a look that has, like, more to it than that. Like, she's trying to communicate more through expression than she's
Okay,
saying.
there needs to be a game with an eye
Now,
language
there
move
is a thing.
built
You
into the
have a
game.
move that already says you know what she's up to, if you want to spend that. Or
I
can
will
try
spend
something
one
else.
of my 2 to know what you.
Okay. She wants to try and
Here,
get
I
him
will
to.
ping it.
Okay.
Thank you.
You think that she is more on your side than she's presenting, and she's gonna try and get to the bottom of this, and, like, in a more peaceful way. But she's gonna, like, she's like, let me go away with them, and I'll be the good cop, and you can be the bad cop.
For that.
Sorry?
I
You
don't
want
think
me
he
to-
would go for that.
Can I? Okay. Can I attempt to plead with you? Is that pleadable?
I think to plead, you would have to at least.
Actually,
be
no,
one
not
on the
plead.
island.
I think she
You would-
says, Bao.
You're trying to get me to do trust.
Yeah, she's literally saying, Bao, trust me.
I think you can roll
To,
the
like, call you out. They have me to
yes.
act on it. Okay.
It is -1 right now.
Okay. So I'm shifting
You're-
my balance away from center. Loyalty. So I'm upping my loyalty more.
What does that put your loyalty at?
It's at 3 right now. And I'm
Sato
going to
is
roll with
like,
-1. Call someone out.
Yes.
Can I get help with that? Does anyone care to help me with that at all?
I would be help with your eye language conversation.
I'm just saying, Bao, trust me, and, like, giving him a look. I don't know if that's basically all you know.
Ardava's trying to recover from the panic attack.
I'll grab Bao by the shoulder and sort of nod and be like, let this happen.
This is what we talked.
Are you helping?
Is
Yeah,
that help?
I'm helping. So that's a 7.
So I
A
do it.
challenge review of the world. Mark 1 fatigue, or
They must do it or mark a
or they
condition, is the
develop.
first thing. So you aren't mind controlled. But if you don't trust me, you mark a condition.
So you can mark fatigue,
And
or
then
you shift balance.
Also on a 7 to 9, you choose if I mark fatigue or my balance gets shifted all the way to the end.
You can take her out.
I can just go off the deep end of loyalty and be like, no, I know it wasn't you. I'll do anything to protect you. Like,
Oh, I don't want it. Well,
so,
wait,
no,
I
you
shift
choose.
your balance
So you don't have
as
to
I
shift my
choose.
balance, or I don't do that, and you just you tell me to mark 1 fatigue.
Well, I can also shift it the other way.
You're right. It says you choose. You can shift it away from loyalty. You're right.
And then
Away
so
from loyalty.
and then what's confidence mean in this instance?
Confidence that she is right.
This confidence would mean more in this case, sort of self-determination and this would be independence. Might
that
be
I
what
can
this.
find what the answer is.
Yeah, independence plus capability is what I would call confidence in this way. Or you just tell me to mark fatigue.
I don't want you to mark fatigue if you have to fight him. The funny thing is, I'm not moving my balance at all here.
No, that's what calls them out is just act on your existing balance. Not.
Yeah.
It's still strange to me, but we're used to masks.
I think I will do it, but I'm also gonna clear angry by going like, you don't even know who this man is. He showed up 2 days ago, and you've been
And I think
gallivanting around with him.
we leave. I like bring him away. We just walk away from you while you stand there saying that. It works.
No, I'm like berating you, walking after
He's not
you.
leaving with you right now.
Sorry?
He is not being led
Antiqua?
away by you right now. No.
I'm trying to.
He is going to stand here, calmly looking at Baohu and
Oh, now I need to
basically
deal with him
listening
too.
to whatever Baohu is saying, and then after that, if you're trying to pull him away, look at you and say, "So this is how the people around you behave."
Look at me?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. I'm absolutely pleading with him of like that's absolutely untrue. I
Um,
Yeah.
can I clear angry by
you can absolutely clear angry now that you've done this. You
Yeah.
have
and also
you've ruined
would-
my life.
I would like to do my suspicious mind question. Ask him, what is he worried about?
Can you ping your suspicious mind question there?
Yes.
The GM may
Uh,
like you. He won't say it, but you will figure it out.
It rolled. I mean, that's actually what I rolled again. But like, I get one because I rolled it before, and
Yeah.
I'm asking him, what are you worried about? Because he's
Okay.
not being upfront. He's being
definitely not
very
upfront.
dodgy. So I'm asking, what is he worried about? Is he worried about?
Didn't you already roll one before with him? You got an 18 in one question for "Are you telling the truth?" Didn't you?
No, I didn't get to that point yet.
Okay, then yes. So you're using the question to basically say, "What are you really worried about right now?"
Because when I asked him, like, did you have anything to do with this? He basically dodged the question. He didn't say yes or no. So
mhm.
that's like, are you telling the truth on like a dodgy answer, right? So
Or
I'm
is he
using
just
that.
distracted by, being accused
Yeah,
and having his stuff stolen?
I used the hold instead to ask what is he worried about because he's being dodgy.
He is worried that his plan and purpose here will fall apart. Says the dodgy GM.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's what you're getting here. I'm
All
not
right.
So
going to
he's
give you
worried
more. I
that
apologize. With a higher roll, maybe, but I'm not going to directly give you that right now.
Okay.
Mhm.
So there's still some suspicion, I think.
But yeah, no. So he looks at you, Quiwa, and basically says, "This how the people around you behave? How do you lead them? Like, is this what your leadership looks like?"
What's up, Zen?
I'm almost wondering if Sato steps in for a second at this point because he's not past thrilled with this man's attitude. I think he does. I think he steps between, like, into an antique lock's line of sight and says,
Is your hand still on fire at this point?
"No, no,
Oh, good.
no. I consider the success to be there will be no violence here at this time. So
In this moment.
yeah.
Okay.
But I think he says, as an ambassador and a guest amongst these people, it truly makes me wonder why you are not concerned about your appearance amongst them, and why you would not do everything possible to assist in a problem that has arisen from something you own. And now you turn and question the leader's daughter. You are not making friends here, my friend, and I will be watching you."
Before he can answer,
I
I want to. Quiwa speaks up and just says, "We don't have to listen to this." And she's very much like positioning her on Antiqua's side, and she wants to plead with him to just like leave with her.
give me a plead roll, but yeah, give me a plead roll. Who cares what you think? So we're kind of torn between replying and leaving.
When you plead with NPC by flattering with them and empathizing with them, I think I'm empathizing with them. I'm very much
Yes,
on his
you are.
side, so I think I'm rolling creativity instead of harmony, which means 12.
Nice.
So on a 12 for plead, I'm pretty sure they just do it.
Yep, they just do it. So if you're basically saying leave, we don't need to deal with this, he will rather stiffly, without responding to you at all, turn away, and he will walk away with you, Panna, at his side, and Anka a little bit beside him.
Is there any way I can stop his bodyguards from following by like
That
interrogating
would
them?
probably be violence, I suspect.
Yeah.
The sister you might be able to
You
stop. The
could
bodyguard probably.
try. It's very difficult to separate the two, but so you might have potential to undo what was just done there, but you can try if you have an idea of how.
I was just trying to like question them, right? Like you can catch up with him later. Let me talk to you right now, right? If they're just walking back, they're gonna be fine. Is basically how he's gonna try and swing it. Like, hey, if someone stole his things and tried to kill someone else with it, that's something you guys should know about. So let
So
me question you.
this sounds like a plead, but I'm trying to decide, does he care about what you think? You personally haven't really interacted with him at all, except
I'm
for
not,
just now to accuse the person of well, not accuse, to essentially accuse. So no, he doesn't care what you specifically think. There is someone here who he probably cares what they think.
if that's the case, then I'll let them walk off, but Bao will be like behind, right? Like he's just staying close enough to where he can jump in if he needs.
All right. Antique Lug pockets the thing, presses whatever button it needs to make it go back and re-spool together, puts it into his pocket. Uh, who do we want to follow? Do we want to follow Quiwa right now? Do we want to go back to Dama? Give me where interests you guys.
I don't know what I'd be doing.
Packing up.
Fair.
I know
But
what I would be
okay, so
doing.
not you.
Yeah, like I did the big action thing, and until there's
You
another
saved
thing
the
where
town.
I
Yep.
saved the town again.
Yeah.
I
Then
am
I
the
say
best at
probably
saving the
run to
town.
Quiwa.
Do I count as having? Did that stop a fight with calm words, or at least stop it from getting worse?
Um,
It's
I-
up to you.
Yes,
That's
I'm going to say
specifically why
yes.
I asked before acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
why
want to
I
link
threw
back
the
on my yes.
fatigue on it because
yeah,
Yeah.
you were
I want
calm,
to
but
link back on my yes.
you knew how to like approach it through Bao by doing the eye talk.
Yeah, the like, trust me eyebrows.
He trusts you, but he's also close enough to where if this guy tries to do anything, I
Yeah.
could pop in.
Okay. Perfect.
and that includes any hanky panky. So keep it above the
Yeah.
waist.
So I think we'll stick with Quiwa since
gotta
that
save
seems to be
room
where
for
the
the
focus is
avatar.
anyways. So I think
Leave room for Bao.
Quiwa, I'm gonna shorten what she says, but she starts off with things like "I can't believe him," and like she's trying to present herself as just as angry at as he is at this nonsense. Like coming up here and accusing you of that. Like, who does he think he is? And she is not entirely lying. But she knew about the murder investigation. She isn't as surprised as she's coming off as. She is actually kind of being devious in this because She is less on his side than she's presenting herself as.
Okay.
But she, in short, is like, yeah, very much sort of apologizing for him, but in a like, I'm very much not okay with what he did, and I'm gonna make sure that that's dealt with and make sure that this doesn't happen again, kind of thing. As she like calms down, she very intentionally starts slipping into some more anti-Fire Nation language. Um, she feels bad about it, but she like mentioned Sato because Sato was there and kind of doing that, and so she like, and someone from the Fire Nation themselves accused, and she's kind of like trying to read what reaction she gets from him when she slips that in, and tries more specifically, it's less about reading and more, does he open up to her more, because of the relationship that's developing, and also if she seems to be, she's presenting herself as someone
On his
who
side.
would be on his side genuinely if he was an attempted murderer thing, like, she, if it feels like it is appropriate, or a safe bet, she might even like, and so what if someone tried to kill a bunch of Fire Nation officers? I'm sure they did way worse things, kind of thing. But
Roll
she
me a
may
trick.
do like a loud whisper for that, like I'm not supposed to say this. Yeah, she's absolutely tricking.
Roll me a trick. 100%.
Is that creativity for trick? I don't remember what trick is.
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
Perfect. I don't think I have any bonuses for this. Cool.
Nice.
10.
All right. On a 10, pick 2.
So on a hit, they fall for it and do what you want for the moment. So I think it's just like, what I want them to do is open up. Like, it's not specifically admit that they did it if they didn't do it, but I want him to open up about this more, without the hostile barriers. I want him to overcommit and be deceived for some time. Like, it's not, so he very much doesn't accidentally let something slip. He's like, okay, here's the deal. And
Yeah.
I think they act foolishly. Like, they yeah, however you interpret that obviously is what it's meant to be, but I think they act foolishly.
Now, here's the question. Was that directly focused at Antiqulock?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, he is
So,
the person that I internally Quill was like, he can't be a murderer. No, not him.
all right. So you could tell as he was walking away there, like, diplomatic shields have come on up. But as you're talking and being on his side, he's lowering them a bit. They're not going to be gone. There is not a chance he's reaching for your hand right now, and you're not getting flowers anytime soon. But but he is willing to listen and hear what you say. You get a couple of relatively, if you're going like, so what, Fire Nation, you are getting some more mild comments back about what they've done is definitely not acceptable, but not something, they are more mild, like what you would get from a diplomat who is not directly involved in this war yet.
He doesn't seem to be hiding a personal grudge against the Fire Nation the same way that
Correct.
many people would who have suffered at their hands.
So that is essentially the overcommit what you just got there. As for the acting foolishly, it is definitely still more subtle than you would expect. But he does kind of talk to you a little bit about how he's concerned, how this will affect relations between your two peoples, how he's concerned what this might do to the alliance that seemed to be going along so well. And just for a moment or two there, you do notice his eyes slipping back to Anka. And while he is most of the time studiously not looking at anyone, it's enough to notice that she seems to be at least a little bit on his mind. That is
Anka's
your
the
acting
his bodyguard
foolishly
or his
picking
bodyguard's
that up.
sister?
His bodyguard sister.
Okay.
The anti-Fire Nation one, right?
Yeah.
The obvious culprit.
I have definitely. not directly stated that and only subtly hinted it like a few bunch of times.
That's how it works in murder mysteries. Once you know the culprit, it's obvious. But if you don't know, it's like, who is it?
Who could it be?
Okay, so I think then, like, the others are in earshot. His bodyguard and bodyguard's sister, right, are in earshot,
Oh, their
right next to him.
bodyguard is not quite as close as you, but very similar distance. Like they are at the shoulder
Yeah, I
there.
thought so.
The
Okay.
sister is a little bit
So
further
I can't
away.
exactly get him to open up about his suspicion of his bodyguard sister right now.
No, you
So then
cannot.
I want to
Easily.
try and get him away from his yeah. I'm gonna come back with him presumably to his place, and then I'm gonna ask for some time in private with him. With
While I applaud your initiative,
he's not going to his
you
place.
will get distracted before you get there.
Oh no.
Are you asking him to let's go here and do
I'm
this?
just following him
before
because I'm assuming he's going to his place. But my intent is to get him away from his bodyguard. But if something happens while we're walking, then that would happen before I really get to do anything.
Yes. So as you guys all head home, you're noticing that there's a bit of commotion at the cave where you have left it in the main hall, which is, it's one cave. What do you want? It's really hard to miss it. There are a lot of people gathered around, and Quiwa, as you're with Anka and everyone else who seems to be staring at that group, she does kind of move away, and as you're talking, head towards the group to see what's going on.
Anka
The commotion is loud. There
Who
is
who moves towards the group?
Anka.
Okay.
Anka versus bodyguard Panna.
Panna. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry for the double fourth syllable letters. They use A's.
I'm staying with my would-be suitor. If someone following me who may or may not be Bao wants to follow her, you're welcome to. But I will be.
Instinctually, he's also going to be heading towards the noise and seeing what's up. It's just more a matter of she has kind of split off from him.
Okay. I'm staying with him. So if whatever happens, if we witness it, then we witness it.
You were walking slowly enough that probably the clearing has been cleaned up. It is likely that, Dama, you are coming in with the last of the chairs because I don't want you completely stuck away from this.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone is here. As you approach the crowd, there's a lot of muttering. You're kind of smelling burnt and burning. And as you get closer, you're kind of realizing wasn't this the area where we kind of left the gorilla goat meat? It is made clear as you get closer that whatever food supplies or meat or whatnot was left there, has been burnt to an ash. There is nothing of it left.
The food we hunted, or all our food stores?
The food you hunted.
Okay.
Which there is some very large amounts of frustration here, especially from the said hunters who put the effort into getting
And
this
many were
food.
injured for that. Okay.
Yes. Right now it's angry, disgruntled, leaning on the edge but not directed.
Okay.
Is where I'll put you at and open the gates for anyone who wants to do anything.
I tell my boyfriend I'll be right back, go up to Dama, and say, it was a sign of the spirits, make a public speech, and then leave.
Good idea.
Where?
I go back to my boyfriend.
Where do you go?
I told Dama to make a public speech saying it was a sign of the spirits because he's the authority of spirits now, and then I'm gonna go back to my would-be suitor, about to be suitor.
Do we have any actions?
How do you take that? Indigo?
Oh, sorry. So yeah, you're sending the people to deal with the burning goat meat, saying it's a spirit problem.
Yeah, I'm telling you
Um,
to make it seem like it was not anything but a miracle.
yeah, the miracle is that we're not crushed by gorilla goat spirit.
So are
This is our
you loudly speaking that to the crowd, or
yes. It's like this is the penance.
Yep.
It's the price you pay for harmony.
now my question is, do you believe that or not? Are you rolling plead or trick?
Which one
I
has the
mean,
higher stat?
No, it is definitely more what does he believe.
yeah. I mean, kind of a mixed bag. I didn't think they need to burn it all.
Okay, so
That
it
feels a
sounds
bit
you
wasteful.
genuinely think it is the goat spirits?
Maybe
I
it's
don't
the
know who
goat
else
spirit
would have
working
done it.
through saboteurs, but it's still the goat spirit.
This would be a weird thing to sabotage.
It was ordained to happen
If it wasn't
by the
all or
spirits
yeah,
of the
no,
gorilla
it would
goat.
be an odd thing to sabotage, but it also might have been what they had access to. But I think you aren't caring super much whether or not it's actually a sign.
Yeah, because the
You want
important point
plead?
is
Go
that
ahead.
plead makes the most sense.
And they definitely do care what you think. Well, ah, these are the hunters who you have 2 strikes against, but there's also the other people. Okay, no +1 forward, but I'll let you do a plead, essentially.
Oh,
And lo,
that-
the gorilla goat spirit. I'm going to.
Oh no.
this isn't my fault. We all saw the spirit.
We all saw the
Yeah.
spirit, but I think that like, oh, screw that gorilla goat spirit might be how some people feel.
So do we have 2 people helping? Because I have responses even if 2 people aren't helping.
I
Val
will
will
help.
help.
I will help as well, actually.
Okay.
I think Sato's investigating the fire while all this is going on.
Yeah.
So he's not
Do
quite
you want
there.
to give me a roll on the investigation before I continue with the rest of the more vocal
Oh,
elements?
go ahead with the vocal elements. We'll see how bad it gets outside, and Sato might just decide to cut and run.
Alrighty. So let's see. Plead. Um. They need something more evidence that this is the right course, guidance, and making the right choices. All right. So the crowd is, especially as the pie show people who had come back from this, slightly mollified. They are getting a bit calmer. Before a voice that you would recognize, though not frequently because he almost never speaks, does speak up and says, basically along the lines of, "Are you all idiots? Like, this was burnt. I don't know about you, but there are Fire Nation with it living among you, and this was your source of food.
Figured how that was
Sure,
going
the
to go.
gorilla goat spirit may
Yeah,
have
she's
been
starting inciting.
sure the gorilla goat spirit may have been the ultimate cause behind this, but what I want to know is which direct hand destroyed your source of sustenance and food throughout the winter, for which about 10 of you were dearly injured, might I remind you? Like, and so the tension level may go back up again for a bit there.
Meanwhile, I'm checking out the fire.
Yes, please.
So she
I
has
assume
motive.
that was the bodyguard sister.
That was the bodyguard sister, yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to clear another condition because I put the
That's an
wrong name
11
down.
on assess.
That's an assess. Beautiful. Go. 2 questions. Go ahead.
Okay, so really, I'm looking for what caused the fire. I think based on the fact that I'm a firebender, I can figure that out.
Like, could this have?
Yeah.
Did this burn too quickly to be caused by natural fire? Is probably like I'm guessing what you're trying to figure out.
Give me a question. I'd be happy to answer it. If that was your question, I will answer it.
That's
Yeah, that's basically the question. Like,
This thing is burnt to ash. There is nothing left. Whatever burnt this was way hotter than regular fire. it very much was definitely a firebender or some miracle, but likely a firebender.
But you can convince them it was a miracle.
Yeah, it would be very. This is not a normal fire. This was not just it was left on the coals overnight. It's gone. That was way too fast.
Hmm.
And I assume neither of the other firebenders were at the spirit meeting, were they? Even though you suggested they go.
Bato
were they?
was.
Oh,
Bato
well, that's
was.
we got one
Kind of tried to come up and say hello to you afterwards, but you were kind of
murder
busy
investigating.
with the other thing, murder investigation, so he did not get in the way of that. But I assume you would have had some level of an eye out, and you would have noticed that he was there.
Okay.
So we got
In other words, we've
one
got a missing
firebender.
firebender.
We got one firebender in the area when the firebending happened.
Okay.
I put her name off too early.
Well, I have an idea. My suspicion is that there's actually two plots going on at the same time, and one's the murder mystery, and one is something else entirely.
Probably.
Okay. So I'll guess
There might
I'll
be
ask who's the biggest threat? Like, is there something here I can use to identify the person that did this
There might be
directly?
There might be three.
Who's the
plots.
biggest threat, as in? Yes, please clarify that question a little more.
So I'm looking around the fire. Is there anything I can use to identify the individual that did this? Like, they would obviously be a threat.
Okay, so the biggest threat within the fire specifically.
I mean, the question could also be, what here can I use to identify the individual that did this?
Yeah. Okay. Even among firebenders, fire that hot that fast is rather unusual. Chucking fire, that's one thing. Really, really hot fire in this concentrated of an area, that's an unusual skill, and it is one that you're aware Mystery has.
Okay. If fire comes from apparently fire power comes from passion. If we know the Sun Warrior episode, so
There we go.
I mean, drive may be the right way to put it. I think was what they established in that episode. And she apparently has a lot of them.
So I think at that point, Sato is going to run over to Bao and yell, "Right person, wrong question," and beeline for for Bato and Miseri's place.
And I think
I'm gonna follow.
with the speech, I'm helping. Like, it looks like the situation's being taken care of. Everyone, don't worry. Is kind of what.
I'm going to ask first what Bao is doing, because the crowd is still riled, and we just had a firebender bolt off.
That just was my narrative help to the previous speech by Damo.
Okay. Bao, what are you up to? Are you bolting with, or?
Do I need to stop an angry mob?
I mean, stopping an angry mob by presenting them the guilty party.
That will definitely go well and non-violently.
It's a good thing I'm good at violence. I'm gonna go, damn it, we had the right person all along. And then I'm still gonna go, like, look at Anti-Glock and, like, his bodyguard entourage and go, 2 strikes.
Go find Aeon. He'll explain what that means.
I think Bao might just skip the first strike on his 3-strike system.
Yeah. So Antiklog looks and glares at him. He's not exactly looking friendly at anyone right now, but again, diplomatic shields are up. But he will bend to the side to you, Quiwa, and basically say, "This crowd is getting agitated. Why is there no one in leadership here? Where is your aunt and father?"
She looks at him like,
meanwhile,
that's
the crowd
a good point.
is, without anything happening, going to essentially, if no one's contradicting her, they saw a Fire Nation person running off. You gave some help. but she is continuing to basically incite a riot.
There's
Okay.
gonna be a lynching.
So before let's stop. Let's pause what you're saying, Marissa, because I'm intentionally not acting to see what the others are doing. To give other players.
Two of us ran off.
To give other players the chance to see. I'm curious.
Yeah.
What was the effect of Dama's roll then? If there's someone giving a speech, but he still rolled a 7.
It calmed it down enough to actually look at the fire. It didn't happen right away.
Okay, so it slowed things down, but it's still.
did.
But she's continuing to escalate it, to undo basically what was done.
You definitely have more people on your side. You have people willing to listen. It is not this is a given, everyone's unhappy. They're willing to listen to reason, if reason is given.
I look at Dama, like from a distance. I don't think I'm right next to him, but I check to see if he's doing anything right now.
See, I'm kind of awestruck that this is even a big problem. Because this feels like what happens when you do spirit stuff. Weird things happen, right?
That might be just how you go with it. If you want to continue this as public speecher, you could just be like, "Yeah,
I don't want to continue doing a public speech. I've been bullied into enough public presentations today.
Okay.
Sorry.
I think
I'm just kind of
Quiwa.
like looking around, like there's a lot going on.
Okay, I can see you're getting a bit overwhelmed. I think Dama.
Yeah.
So Quiwa
Little
sighs
blitzing this.
and says, "I'll be right back," and she's gonna step up. And she's going
As you. Oh, do you want me to give you something to respond to with the last thing that she says as
Sure.
you step up?
Yeah.
So as you step up, she's like, "There are firebenders in our midst. There's one right there." And she's pointing at Dama. Who's to say that he didn't do it? Who's to say that any of them didn't
We all
burn this to the ground?
There
We all
are
saw me.
firebenders in our midst, but this
Yes.
was not them. Many of us, those who like diligently stayed here to maintain us, will be hearing from those who just returned that the Great Pai Show match against the Gorilla Goat spirit was a success, and it has been appeased. But part of its cost was that we shall not feed on the Gorilla Goats themselves. This was a sign from the spirits. I think she like takes a sec, and she says, which I think would help. It's establishing minor personal connection. I myself wasn't sure if I believed in the spirits until I met this one in particular. But its power and its purpose cannot be denied. The Gorilla Goat
Fine.
spirit will protect us, but only if we abide by its conduct. We will
Fine.
find all the food that we need. She's just continuing on. She's not giving her.
Okay, then I'm going to start yelling over you, if you don't mind.
Is she going to start yelling over me?
Yes.
Ooh.
So this specific crime wasn't done by this specific firebender. Oh wow, not like there aren't any others, like the one that just ran off out of the midst of all of you after yelling that I don't know what that was.
I'd like to trick her.
What other crimes has this one did? Didn't he
Okay.
poison you all earlier with some
I
awful
don't know if this
potatoes?
counts as trickery or what this counts as, but I'm kind of letting her like hang herself with her own rope. Because Sato,
Yeah.
amongst the general populace, we've basically established is kind of fully trusted by the general populace. After the
Sato?
events, Sato specifically, not the other two, but now that she's started accusing Sato, I suspect the others will be like, but he literally has been doing nothing but help us for like months, and like
Sato, I would line up at more of an unknown quantity. They're not willing to completely.
good enough.
He's been off a lot of time.
All I'm trying to do
are
is
going unhinged.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to trick her to overcommit her case to the crowd, and they all be like, okay, that's a bit much, and they all start being a lot more skeptical of her.
That's fair, and as I don't
And so
roll for
when
her,
she
I
speaks
think
up to me, I just like let her continue because
Yeah.
Okay.
She keeps going there. Roll your trick. Yeah, go ahead.
That's an 11. So,
Beautiful.
I want her to act foolishly, and I want her to stumble.
Okay. So not overcommit. Oh, right. She doesn't really need to be
She
deceived by
is
you.
already narratively overcommitting, but
Yeah, she's narratively definitely overcommitting, going ahead. She keeps going more and more passionately and kind of does some really ridiculous accusations. Again, one of the earlier ones was Dama Lee did it, and it's like we just all watched him right
he just
here.
saved our
He
town
very
from
much has an
yeah.
alibi.
Yeah.
And so there is a lot of okay, there is anti-Fire Nation sentiment being stirred up, but also as they continue to listen to her, those who are thinking rationally about this are recognizing, wait, no, that doesn't
She's just
make
turning to the nearest
sense.
firebender and pointing at them, basically.
Exactly. So those who are rational enough to watch that are going to back down in a way. As we have learned in generalness, there are definitely going to still be some hardcore supporters, which he may have collected, but the majority of the
Much
crowd are
less.
like, right, never mind. Not sure how much I go with Gorilla Goat, but it is definitely we don't do Gorilla Goat hunting anymore. And the authorities have this in. I don't know if the authorities have this in hand, but at least she's not reliable, and so let's swing the other way.
Okay.
And yeah, you can have a plus
So
one
I have
forward towards
another.
acting against them if you want to do anything with this crowd, which are currently not for you, but against her.
I have another very, very weird interpretation of one of my drives. Defend an inhabited place from dire threats. Would a dire threat be a anti-Fire Nation like lynch mob?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd give it. That would be a descent into anarchy. That would have been a serious problem.
Okay.
Yeah, I assume they'd go, oh, well, our leaders aren't doing anything, so we're going to take matters into our own hands. Why do we even need them as our leaders?
Yeah, they're not doing it. They're doing a terrible job protecting us. Speaking of, I need to go find my father. So I tell Antiqua that, and I wish I could come with you. We need to talk more later. I will be back as soon as I can. And then she rushes off to go find her father, which is a terrible idea narratively because I'm leaving them alone. But you know what? That's perfect. I'm doing it.
All right, Dama, are you sticking with the crowd or going anywhere else?
I think I'm hanging out to see what happens with these piles of burnt meat.
It's not even a pile of burnt meat. That's the reason. It is essentially ash on the floor. There is not charred meat there, which is the reason why we could determine who did it, quite obviously.
Quick question: when I called out Bow, did you end up moving my loyalty back to confidence? I just was double checking.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't mark that. There we go.
Sorry, I wasn't going to push you to be over the edge, right?
Yep.
So to clarify with the situation with the speech, as it is again, they're against her, they're not for anyone. If you guys want them to be for something, you would have to make another motion towards that. But in the meantime, we will follow then Quiwa as you run to
Yeah.
find your dad.
Oh, okay.
Because I think the next thing that Dama has to do is we have to spend time hanging out with the spirit, and that's a waiting game. And then
Yeah.
back on other instilling harmony in the town actions. Because that's what the main goal is to get this town running, right? Currently,
Yeah.
still, there's a
Mhm.
couple other side missions happening, but the core premise is to get the town running.
I'm
There's
actually
definitely.
have a question.
Mhm.
Oh, right, that's what it is. Outside of combat, you can't learn someone's drive, which is very strange.
Mhm.
Do we,
Anyhow,
I half want to mod that into the assess a situation or other
what are
things.
you wanting here?
Nothing specific. I was just realizing, like, hang on, we don't know any of the NPCs' drives who arrived here, and the answer is because we have to fight them to learn their
Well,
drives.
using basic actions, you can duel of wits. You can turn combat into
That's
a.
true, but it still has to be. The drives can apparently only be confirmed combatively. Unless I try to like plead with them to just reveal to me their drive like narratively, which could work. Either way, I'm running to my dad, so I go to like his office that we described before to go find him.
One quick second here as I figure something out. All right. On your way to your dad, you definitely find a couple of guards moving towards the situation in the main hall. As you hit where are you looking for your dad?
In his office that he has.
Okay, that's the most sensible place to look for him, absolutely.
Yeah, it's
As
like looking
you
for
get
someone
to your
who without
office,
going to their home first. Why would I do that?
yeah. As you get to his office, there is one guard standing outside there. He is currently being harangued essentially by two about 10-year-old twin boys. Who are talking to him and very much taking up a lot of his attention. It seems to be pretty meaningless chatter. They're kind of bothering him about, and how can we be a guard? Or why didn't we get to go to this
I
thing?
assume
Or
I can
like,
just
how
go
did we
past
do
them.
this?
I ignore them completely unless he moves to stop me from entering, which feels very unlike him, given that it's me.
Yeah, he won't stop you from entering. He's distracted.
Okay. Yeah, I ignore them right now.
Your dad is lying on his desk. He was sitting there. He is. There is nothing obviously wrong aside from the fact that no one just bends over their desk and
I rush up to
is like
him.
that. There is a smell of char, and almost like
Jesus.
a bullet wound, there is a round, like really focused hole in the back of his neck. He
Perfect.
is very
All
dead.
we just we cut back to the outside of the room, and there's just a scream from Quiwa, and that's all we see for this session.
And we get
Yep,
the
that's
commercial.
where we cut to break.
She works so fast.
Who has a gun?
No,
It's
she lightning bolted him.
I think she might have lightning.
Oh. A gun would be funnier.
But yeah, I figure there's two plots. The murder, yeah. Oh well.
I've been trying to city build, and you keep putting non-city building problems in front of us. I understand
I
that's
was
your
told
job.
city builder, and that it was more interesting to deal with the
Yeah.
problems of the city builder.
No, I agree. You're doing it correctly. I want to build a city, and you're making it very hard.
Listen, people need houses and food still. They're still gonna be mad,
Yeah.
but we have problems we have to deal
Right,
with.
now
Yep.
gone. Now this needs to be
Through the mechanics of the game, we have to city build through interpersonal emotional conflict.
Yep.
Once we deal with all
How-
of the external problems, causing us to have to not build houses and not learn
Yeah.
how to live with the gorilla
You're
goats,
right.
then we'll be fine.
The
So let's-
interpersonal problems that pervade the city building background is the way a Powered by the Apocalypse way does city building. Like, we
Yep.
assume competence in city building. We don't assume competence in interpersonal
in managing
conflict.
our emotions and
Yeah.
being and like maintaining a relationship with each other.
Yeah,
Yes.
the tasks you have to do is like, get the lead engineer to stop drinking long enough to do his job. Like these types of things.
I just
Let's
want to
do
build
end
a
of session
city.
questions.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely end of session
did
questions.
you learn something challenging, exciting, or complicated about the world?
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's
Yes.
Batman meme now. My parents are dead. That's
Hey,
challenging.
your dad is dead. Your mom is
Vanished
Also
and
dead.
presumed dead.
That is
fair enough.
presumed dead.
right. I say yes for that.
Yeah.
Probably for all of you.
We've learned a lot about various different peoples, and it's all
Spirits,
came to a head today.
people. Yeah.
Yeah. Did we stop a dangerous threat or solve a community problem? We technically
Yes.
did with the gorilla
Yeah.
goat spirit.
Yep,
You did.
we did.
Good job.
You
Fixed
didn't catch
Curly
the
Hill.
murderer. but
We almost
We
caught
we
two
didn't prevent the
murderers.
murder either.
No. Did you guide a companion towards balance or end the session at your center? Not for me.
nope.
No. Wait, guide toward balance? I technically did.
Yeah, you
I
did.
guided you toward center.
You did, actually, when you... Yeah. Okay, you get the growth.
Yes. I pip.
And then individual questions?
I'm gonna.
Did I express vulnerability by admitting I was wrong or that I should have listened to someone I ignored? I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, you sent me on the spirit problem.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that's fair. At
You
the
didn't
beginning.
really express vulnerability.
That's true.
there.
That's the main thing. Did I express
I mean,
vulnerability?
isn't your
by...
playbook bold? Admitting that you can't do a problem, I think, is vulnerability. It's your question to answer.
You specifically didn't say that the spirit had hit you into a tree.
You did
I
make
would
a
have
point
said
about
if
that.
you
But I
had done
did
that,
say
you
in the public
did not
speech
say
that I really didn't believe in spirits, and then I could not deny it anymore. I think that technically counts. I said in
I'll
the
give it to
moment,
you.
without thinking, I said, yeah, she opens up a bit, and talks
Yeah,
about how
you
she
did.
didn't believe in the spirits. So yeah, I'll take it.
I need to talk to people because I keep forgetting that's my growth question.
Your growth question is
To hang out
to-
with someone. It's to hang. That's it. Did you
Perfect.
hang out with someone?
You hung out with the guy.
Yeah,
With
but
the
he had
goat
no
spirit.
feet.
Yeah.
I was gonna have an instant pie show game with the goat spirit, but no,
You
we had
did.
to make it a town event.
Well, you still hung out,
No,
or
I
you
mean,
hung out with the other guy, the
you
Paisho guy.
Using what communication you could, you managed to glean quite a bit from that goat spirit. I would think
Yeah.
that counts.
My issue,
question.
I'm probably not gonna take the growth, and here's the reason: is that I would have made different decisions if it wasn't for an audience as to how like the interaction with the goat spirit went.
Fair.
Because there would be no saving face if there was no town around.
and it's focused on their concerns of troubles. Well, you did. You would have been more focused on it. Yeah. No.
Yeah, I was specifically focused on how I looked playing Paisho to everyone, as opposed to using
I make
Paisho
it
as a spirit communication medium.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was bullied by some random NPC again.
And then
I
mine
felt
is
cool about it, so he successfully bullied me, but...
mine is: did you pursue a desire or a goal of your own outside of protecting others? No, the whole thing was like, we gotta find who's the murderer.
Was that out of a sense of protection to others, or because I need to find the murderer?
Because the person's probably gonna murder people I care about. So yeah,
Like
I
the
gotta find the
boss.
murderer.
I'm thinking, or rather, I'm trying to get through a couple of squishy middle bits here. Was your goal to find the murderer, or is your goal to protect people from the murderer?
Yeah.
It's more the second one. Less like, aha, I found you, and more like, I have to stop you before you murder.
Okay, if that's the case, then yeah, no.
Yeah. Less detective, more bodyguard.
Okay. And I know Sato doesn't have questions, which brings an end to this session.
Yeah.
My passion.
And
Once
I will
again-
write down the
again.
pause point so that we can actually pick up right where we
I was
left
gonna say
off.
we just go skip to the funeral. Might be the start of next session. I don't know.
Ooh.
Nope,
Oh, I
we
mean-
are
no,
picking up where we left off
Oh.
here.
Alright.
Apparently things will be
because
happening.
two of us were
Running after
running
people,
to.
You're right.
To the
Yeah.
nearest suspects, and
Perfect. I've increased my passion again with my next growth, so I went straight effectively in one session from 0 to 2.
well,
So, yeah, Kui was going on the offensive next session.
I'm getting my passion up by 1. So now I have 2 in passion because I can intimidate people better now.
And more is for me when we enter combat, I can now attack in advance better.
I'm also still keeping Antic Luck as my catch a liar because there's something off about that guy. I'm suspicious of him in one way or another.
less concerned about the anti-firebender sentiment now that a firebender killed my dad.
That's fair.
Why do I have to deal with your community's problems?
Because that's
I mean,
No, that's
originally
Because you
ideal
that
decided
way
to
to
stay.
yeah.
that was originally what Panna was trying to see. Like, don't care about their problems, just go off and play Pi Show. But anyhow.
Oh, was I distracted? Was I taken for a fool? Mate. Is the nerd the murderer?
It's the nerd, the murderer. It was Aeon the whole time.
Yeah,
No, I
Aeon's
meant
like, I don't know what this is. Oh well, here you go.
Ooh.
I certainly didn't
There
make
you go.
that.
I certainly didn't. Yeah.
Okay. Just immediately trusted him.
Yeah.
Is this just all murderers in the town? All murderers in the building?
That show's
Yeah.
really good, though.
The entire town was just sitting outside the door around the corner, like, "Okay, do it now. Do it now."
Hey, get him, get him, get him. We hate him.
They're all of
Yeah.
them, same room. Let's
This
go.
is the
Dominus account.
Biggest
Half of us
murder
doesn't
on the
even know he
Orient
firebends
Express you've ever
because he's-
seen.
Yeah.
Oh, God. And I'm the least. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're a fire." I'm the least capable firebender.
Other
You
than the
just slay
candle
yourself
trick,
there,
I
pal.
think literally probably several people watching might not have realized you were a firebender until you did the candle trick.
Yeah.
They're still not 100%. It could be spirit magic.
Could be
Yeah,
spirit stuff.
actually, that's true. Okay.
All right.
Now what should we
well,
call this? So
farewell
what is
for this
fire
week.
even or
I think it's just all murder. Or wait, or I'll be asking the question.
That's fair. I do like that.
There's plenty of good names.
There's plenty of good things, yeah.
Yeah.
It could be the obvious suspects.
I want to
Yeah.
try and tie a link between the sabotage and the pie show.
Either way, I think this is probably it for this week.
Drawing a blank? No,
We'll figure it
that's a
out.
gun. That's more of a gun meme.
Yeah.
Farewell to all.
Yep, we'll be back next week.
Bye.